Hey guys, it's Jasmine and welcome back to the Moxie Ram. So what am I going to show you guys today? Well, I guess I can show you this, although it's not done yet. It feels like I've been working on this forever, but it's probably because I only do a couple rows of this and then I move on to something else. Just because working with this fingering weight yarn for so long, I feel like it puts a lot of strain on my fingers. So I only do a couple rows and then I stop and I move on to a worsted project. But she's coming along. This is her size right now. And I still need it to be a little bigger because I want it to fit around my neck kind of like that low, but I want these tails that are way over there to be longer and come further down here. So she's not done yet, but she's coming along. And the pattern is very pretty. Once I block this, it's gonna feel nice and soft, much more drapey. So that's that. And I did finally get to sew the button onto the Elsa beanie for my daughter, but I can't show you guys because she's wearing it today. But you guys kind of got the gist of what it looks like because I showed it to you before. The beanie was completed, the button just wasn't sewn on. What else? I did pick out the yarns for the temperature blankets. I'll save that for after I show you something else. So, I did show you in this book here. In this book, The Modern Crochet, I showed you guys that I wanted to do a pattern for a pillowcase. I'm going to show you guys again. So it's called the Bobble Pillow. As you can see, it's got a really nice texture, and you can either do this bubble or bobble stitch on both sides or just the one side. I'm most likely going to do just the one side because as I'm working on it, I'm realizing how much time it takes to do all of those bobble stitches. And to do it on both sides, I don't know, probably going to do one side. So, this is what I have on that so far. So I wanted to do spring colors because like I had said before, right now my pillowcases are all Christmas themed or winter themed. So I'm going with this peachy color, which I feel is perfect for spring. So I'm finally using the Karen, the cotton funnel cakes. Let's see if I have another one of this. I'm sure I do. Alright, so this colorway, I do have another cake. It is peaches. I did say peachy, it's peaches. But man, this texture is really, really nice. As you can see there, it's beautiful. So you make one long chain. It was a chain of 49. And so the chain of 49 came out to, here, I'll measure it for you guys. That way, in case you decide to make a pillowcase with the same pattern and the same yarn, you can kind of get an estimate. So it's about 17.5 inches wide. I did check the gauge and I was pretty close with the gauge. So this is what I have. Now the pattern will come out to, I believe, well actually it's probably a little bigger than what it calls for because I think the pattern is for a 16 by 18 pillow. And this is coming out to 17.5. But it works out perfectly because my pillows are 18 by 18. So I figure make them a little smaller, that way I can shove the pillow in there. And over time, I'm sure this will loosen and stretch out a bit. This yarn is 100% cotton, which is perfect because when it gets dirty, which it most likely will with my toddler running around with her snacks and whatnot, I can take it off the pillowcase because I'm planning on putting a zipper. And I could throw it in the wash in a mesh laundry bag. Don't want it to snag on anything. But I'm really, really, really liking this texture. It's nice and soft, but because it's 100% cotton, I can't talk today, guys. Because it's 100% cotton, it is durable. So it works up, like I said, by doing a chain of 49, 50, chain of 50, and then you single crochet back 49, and then you do single crochet, then the bobble stitch, which is 5 double crochets. But instead of pulling that last through with the last loop of the double crochet, you keep it on the hook and you do 5 of them, and then you pull that last loop through all 5 double crochets. I am probably botching the instructions for that, but that's how it has me do the double crochets with the bobble stitch. So that's that. It's really nice and soft. I feel like my tension is very poor today, as you guys can probably tell. Probably a little too much coffee. So that's the progress I have so far. And like I said, it takes a while to build up. So because it takes so long to work up, I think I'm going to just do the back as single crochets and just keep it as one-sided. The pillows always face one side anyway, right? I'll still do the back with this peach color just so that it still has a nice color combination. And I have that cotton funnel cake in several different colorways. Like I have a blue one, I have a pink one, I believe I have a green mix somewhere. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to make another one in the pink one and another in the blue. That way I can have at least 3. I should have 4 to make it even on the couch. It has to be even for me. But we'll see. Maybe I'll make some doubles of those. But those would be so perfect for Easter. They're so springy colored. And then, last but not least, I wanted to show you guys my temperature blanket. So, in order to keep track of everything, I've kind of just been checking my phone daily. I check what the high temperature is and I jot it down. And I have not been jotting the high temperature until the end of the day because sometimes they predict it'll be a certain temperature and then at the end of the day I realize it didn't even reach that temperature or it surpassed it, etc. So I just made, it's very sloppy, but I made a small note page in my planner here that says temperature blankets, and you can see all of these numbers are all the temperatures that I have recorded so far. And I just made a little like diagram on both sides of the page, and this is going to take me through the entire year. So I put down the yarn that I'm using, which is Michael's Loops and Threads Flex. I did end up going with that one, and it's going to be a beautiful rainbow. I'm going with a hook size of 5mm. I wrote down my gauge. So according to the gauge that I took, which I'm not the best with gauges, but the blanket's going to be about 60 inches by 73 inches. Give or take a few inches here or there, depending on how consistent I keep my tension. And then I wrote down the colorways, and I wrote down what degrees they stand for. Then, like I said, I wrote down the month. Then I left a certain number of spaces between each month for the number of days of the month. And then right before each month, if you can see it there, I have that solid line. That line is to remind me to put down my dividing color. So I saw lots of people making temperature blankets. They did not put down a color to separate the months, which is fine. It depends on what style you want to do. But I specifically wanted a blanket where I could see exactly where the month ended and where the next month started to kind of get a better idea of the temperatures throughout the year. So my dividing color is just going to be their white color. So all of my yarns are the Michael's Flex. This one is in the Sweet Cream colorway. What I love about these is they are very soft, they are silky smooth, and they don't seem to pill very much as far as when I have used them in the past. And they have all these little flecks, as the name implies. So it's a little bit of a mix of different colors. So this one right here is going to be my month dividing color. And then next up we have this one here, which is light pink. As you can see, she's light pink. It's a light pink with little flecks of, I guess I'd say white, a slightly darker pink and some purplish blue flecks in there. This light pink goes from 0 to 19 degrees. So the rest all go by 10-degree increments. This one I decided to go by 20 just because as a high temperature for the area of New York that I'm in, we pretty much never hit a high of single digits. We go into the single digits at nighttime for the coldest, but not necessarily the highest temp, and I wanted to make sure I got to use my coldest color. So she's gonna be 20 degrees, 19 degrees. and below for a high. Next up, we have violet. It's a beautiful, cool toned purple, and it has specks, or flecks I should say, of pink, yellow, green, and white. And I think this is such a beautiful color. And this one stands for 20 to 29 degrees. So this one's the 20s. Next up, this one doesn't have the band around it just because I currently have it attached to the blanket that I'm working on. But this one is pool blue, and it has flecks of white and green and blue. It's a slightly different shade of blue. She stands for the 30s, which I was hoping to use more of right now, but my main yarn that I've been using, because we've been stuck in the 40s, is this green. So this one is called, whoops, hold on one second. I think I might have mixed up my bands. Yes, so I swapped my bands on these two because I've used these. So this one is spring green. It's a really nice, rich, bright green color. It has flecks of blue, yellow, pink, and white. And we have been in the 40s a lot. So I'll show you real quick my blankets. So this is the starting end. So January 1st, we've got green, then yellow, then green, then orange, then yellow, then green, green, blue. Today is going to be, actually today will be blue again because it was 30s, and I think the next 2 days are 40s. But I was expecting a lot more purple and blue because the end of 2022, New York got a cold front that just came through and dragged our temperatures down really low for several days. And then all of a sudden it went right up to the 40s, and even that orange there means it reached the 60s. Yeah, so it's a little warm for this time of year, or it was. Today it's finally going back down, like I said, in the 30s. Next up, we have this one, which is Sunshine. So it's a bright yellow color. It has flecks of white, yellow, blue, and pink in it. And she stands for the 50s. And then, which I told you guys I already got to use in January, is this really cute, nice, sweet orange. And it also has specks of pink, blue, and yellow, and I believe white in there. And this one's for the 60s. Next up is the 70s with salmon. So I was stuck between two different colors to go into for the end, and there was another one that was a slightly different orange, but I felt that the orange was too close to this one. It was just a darker version, I believe. It was too similar to something else in my batch. So we went with salmon. This one also has the same color flex as the last one. And I don't know if I mentioned, all of these are 79% acrylic and 21% polyester. They are all so soft. And then into the 80s, I have Deco Rose. This one's a really nice, warm pink color. And it has the same flex as before, the white, pink, yellow, and blue. And then last but not least, the 90s. And hopefully not above. If we go above, I'll show you what I have. Is Sweet Pink. So I know I had a light pink at the beginning.
Could you try again?
Thanks, Siri. I know I had a light pink, as you can see, for the beginning. And these two honestly aren't too far off from each other. You definitely tell when they're next to each other, but when they're far apart, you can't really tell so much. But I really liked the pink, both of these. I wanted to incorporate them both, and I didn't want them right next to each other. So I ended up putting this on the cooler ends because it is a cooler pink. This one's a slightly warmer pink, so she's going to be for the higher ends. So I'll hopefully have, if our temperature goes down, a little bit of the lighter pink on the top and bottom of my blanket. And if we have some really steaming days this summer, we're going to have some more pink in the middle. Help balance it out. And did I say? Yes, Sweet Pink is what she's called. So those are the colors. And if the weather decides to bump it up and go past 100, which I really hope it doesn't, and I don't think it will. Hopefully not. I looked up the history, and the last time, I think it was 2012, that it went above 100 as a high, I'm thinking. I don't know. I just know it's not yearly. I have this one here. So I'm not sure if I'll stick with this one. I did buy this one just because I really liked it. It's a darker gray color. And it's got specks of dark gray, beige, and white. I thought it looked really nice. It's called Silver Lining. And I thought if we get up to those high temperatures, maybe this one can be for those. But I'm not 100% sure. Not really sold on that. I know there was one more color at Michael's that was a really like raspberry, a really rich raspberry color, and it was beautiful, but it just didn't go with the palette that I'm working with now, which I'll show you guys how nice it looks all laid out. Look at that, it's beautiful. I'm looking forward to having a very rainbow blanket. So far it's lots of green and yellow and a tiny spot of orange and a little spot of blue. So yeah, that's my plan for the temperature blanket. Today, like I said, it's in the 30s again. Tomorrow, I'm pretty sure I said 40s for the next couple days, and then some 30s. I'm keeping my fingers crossed for 20s because I love purple, and purple is the 20s. I know, it sounds crazy wishing for a high in the 20s. I honestly don't mind winter. And if it gets me to use purple on my blanket, then I'll take it. If not, and if I totally miss the window of 20s and below, there's always next winter for the end of my blanket. Other than that, I don't really have anything else at the moment. Trying to think. Yeah, I don't think so. Oh, I still have the other Yarn Swift hidden back up there behind my deer. They never requested for me to send it back. So I have an extra Yarn Swift. I don't know. Maybe I'll follow along with other people and do some sort of giveaway. I have to see how that works. I am very new to YouTube, so I'm not sure what the rules and regulations are yet. But we'll see. And if I do get to do that, then maybe that could be a giveaway. Because who needs 2 Yarn Swifts? Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. So thanks for watching my video. Thanks for liking. Leave me some comments because I love reading them and responding. Click that bell icon so you're notified when I post new videos. And I will see you guys next time.